They
Like
will
maybe
still come
their
after.
money that they're using to do investment. So it's just this. I could understand them too as well. Because when you share, they're like, "This pastor is using your money for." They don't know that pastors can also make their own money. Like they of course they study, they do other things.
Yeah.
People think if you're being
But here's the shock is out.
you're being people's ties to buy buy all those fancy things. But I mean, there's nothing bad about it. It's just about striving balance in the end. These
Yeah.
are biggest money mistake we see young people make. And what are the like the mindset, three mindset shifts every aspiring entrepreneur must make to succeed in this digital age?
I think the biggest money mistake is people are waiting to have all the money before they invest. Everybody's just waiting. When I have money, when I have money, and I'm like, there's no such thing, right? If you're not careful, you just remain there. Time is going, and time waits for no one. You'll be shocked that years and years and years will pass, and you are still where you used to be. So we must be intentional about saying, let me start. There's a starting phase. Like I told you about my first estate. Imagine I said to myself, no, 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 I can't start with Ikorodu. I must start with a land with C of O. I can't start with a waterlogged land. And I start giving all those conditions, which is what young people do. I've seen people like, oh, my first land will be, around island side. Some will say my first house. I'm like, that's not how anybody starts. Start with what you have.
Mm.
Okay. The humility to reach out to people who are ahead and say, can I start? I'll give you an example of somebody I've never met her by the way, but I admire her a lot. And she said this publicly as herself, which is Funke Akindele.
Hmm.
Imagine the growth in terms of wealth for Funke Akindele, because some people don't also understand. Your movie did 1 billion naira in cinemas. They don't have an idea of how much did the person put in marketing. I can assure you, over 200 million went into marketing of that kind of movie, which is why he did that. All right. But when Funke Akindele moved to a particular estate and she got familiar with the founder of that estate and intentionally built relationship with them,
Hmm.
right? She started understanding, you could see that everything changed from that time onwards to today. Now I'm told she even has her own estate. There was a lot of that rubbing off that came in. Um, but she started somewhere. Imagine she didn't even make the first step. Okay, because from what I heard, oh, come and influence for us in the process of it. Oh, can I also buy? Can I pay in installment?
Hmm.
That, like that. The relationship started. And today, you could see how much empire she's building in that movie industry because there's a financial backbone to support every movie she's doing. And the movies are also now profitable as well. So people must be willing to start somewhere.
Hmm.
You must be willing to start small, think big, and grow fast.
Hmm.
Right. Number two is mentorship. Find somebody you can trust. There's no perfect mentor. I've always said this. There's nobody that is perfect. Only God. But you can find someone you can trust. That I tell people, I said, no matter how controversial Bishop Oyedepo has been, for some whatever reason, I've just known that was my pastor since I
Hmm.
was a teenager. Even though the first story I heard about was controversial and I never wanted to have anything to do with the church. But first time I entered the church, I just felt I was at home.
Hmm.
Okay. And every one of us must understand that there are some people that everybody else will tell you this person is a devil, is a devil. But somehow, and most of my mentors are like that. President Obasanjo is one of those people like that, where sometimes I'm having breakfast with Obasanjo. I'm like, is it not the same person that this thing I've heard? Okay. But you must understand that God will send certain people to you.
Yeah.
There's your people. But unfortunately, some of us, We are the ones by ourselves who chose to push, maybe because of what we heard, maybe, sentiment, whatever. But this person was sent to you.
Hmm.
So get a mentor sent to you. He or she will not be perfect, but that is your mentor. That's your mentor. Okay, that's your mentor.
Hmm.
And don't work with a mentor you cannot defend. Don't work with a mentor you are not comfortable with. Don't work with a mentor you cannot stand by. Loyalty is very critical, right? And it's vice versa, because you also need some of these people to also stand by you in some of your most vulnerable moments as well. And just a one word from them. It doesn't matter if 1 billion people is against you. One word from your mentor that you love, you trust, right? Is just refreshing, right? It's just refreshing. And wow. Okay. So I think those are some of the mistakes people are making, not having to start small,
Hmm.
not having mentors. The last one is not prioritizing knowledge. I always say that if the current capital for business is not enough, convert it to a seed into your brain, empty it into your brain. What do I mean by converting to a seed? Converting to a seed to buy materials, seminars, courses, conferences, meetings, and just load your brain. Because your greatest money machine is your mind, it's not your account. If I lose everything I have today, with the kind mind we need, Steve, I get. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, I left Harvard as I speak to you with 7 business partners,
Hmm.
right? From pharmaceutical to solar estate. I mean, like if I had left Harvard with nothing and I'm to start all over again, or more. But that's because I knew what I was going for. It was intentional.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew what I was going for. I knew what I wanted. I, I, in fact, this is what my coach said at Harvard, because we're entitled to a coach, and their job is to psychologically, analyze you, get to understand your challenges. So I shared my story of what had happened, how I was being dragged and called out. At the end of the day, says Steven, because they also do research about you before the meeting.
Hmm.
Says Steven, don't worry. You now have Harvard behind you. You
Wow.
can let go all these your Nigerian people who are dragging. In fact, I laughed after the coaches. I just was laughing. I said, ó ti sú coach mi gan. Because wọn ò value ẹ̀ Steve má worry. Àwọn Harvard wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. So I mean, she was just like, say, don't worry. Don't worry. You have a new network now. Massive network that you will leverage on. I love. I love.
Mhm.
So, but that's the power of being intentional, right?
Hmm.
I've been trying to do that program for over 5 years. I wasn't picked, so I had to do 2 other programs, shorter courses, before I was finally picked. I had to even, because I now live in the US, but I had to switch that I'm coming from Lagos. So it was the slot for Nigeria that I was able to even get, because they kind of tried to rationalize it. How many slot for Americans, how many slot for, different, it's people from all over the world. But that's what some people were shocked that I went to class again. I'm like, what were you guys thinking? Knowledge is not a destination, it's a journey.
Journey.
Every day there's a new thing to learn. There's an opportunity to improve every year. I spend minimum $200,000, on conferences, seminars, hosting mentors. I kid you not, every year my educational budget is $200,000 in the last 5 years or so.
Wow.
So
Wow. Wow.
I my biggest wealth is my mind, though. It's not land, though. It's not, and we have land. Yeah. But if you ask me what's my biggest asset, is my mind. I have a rich mind. Oh, I have a rich mind. I have a rich
Ah, wow, wow, just wow.
mind.
Oh my God, I'm blown away, sir. Wow. Thank you for sharing all of this. And I'm pretty sure our viewers are also getting value, value, value. I can see the comments and it's just wow, just amazing, sir. So, sir, can you break down your approach to real estate or digital business for beginners? Somebody who just want to start out in either real estate or digital business. Can you break the approach down for them, sir?
So let's
Well,
start with digital business. So if you want to do digital business, just means your business is available on the internet. You're leveraging on technology to sell anything, right? My advice would be start with a service before a product. Okay, and get a website. Make sure you sort out the payments integration. Then master how to sell and use the principle of the purple cow. I'm recommending to every one of you go read the book, The Purple Cow. It's a marketing book. Um, um, I think Seth Gordon? I'm not sure who is the author now. Meaning, if you really want to stand out, incidentally, I think your hair is purple. Is if I'm correct?
blue.
It's blue. Okay, right. Incidentally, um, I realized that if you want to stand out on social media, you can't be like everybody else.
Hmm.
You have to have a unique approach. I was one of the first CEOs who will go to my business and use selfie stick and be doing video. When I started many years ago, people started mocking me and say, "How many times, do you see any big man do that?" But recently, everybody saw Dangote holding a jar of petrol, trying to explain which petrol is better than the other. So it's all about evolution. Some people abuse me that I'm raising funds on Instagram. I just laugh. So we must understand that you must be different. And I knew people were attacked, but the more they attack, the wealthier you get. You must just have a different approach. The same model Elon Musk did. Elon Musk is different. And the more different he was, the richer he got. The more unconventional his method, the more he's noticed, the more he's respected. Um, so if you're going to do digital business, don't come and be like everybody else. If you're like everybody else, you've limited, the potential of income you can make. I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm me. I'm different. I'm unique. I always say to people, and I mean it with every fiber of my bone. I am Stephen Akintayo. I love me. I think the world would be a better place with more me in it,
Hmm.
right? I am comfortable with me. The best time of my life is when I'm alone with me. And I kid you not, my wife will tell you, I'm a loner like that. My favorite time is alone with me. That's how much of me I like. That's how much of me I like. And I think it's something rare in this day and age. And I encourage everybody to get used to loving you
Hmm.
because it's one of the problem why many of us are struggling. We really cannot look at ourselves in the mirror.
Hmm.
We really cannot. We genuinely don't like ourselves. And however you're going to fix that problem, fix it.
Hmm. That
Okay?
you're really
Yeah.
talking to me, to be honest. This one is this one is for me.
Yeah. However you're going to fix it, fix it. You have to get to a point where you love you. You are conscious that you are not perfect. Loving you has nothing to do with perfect. I mean, we those of us who have children, our children are not perfect, but we love them still,
Hmm.
right? For God so loved the world, I gave his only because the son. Did he love the world because the world was perfect? No.
No.
Yeah, I have areas I need to improve, yeah, but I know how far I've worked on myself. I know how far I've come. I know the version of me 2 years ago, 5 years ago. I used to have a very terrible anger problem.
Hmm.
I could see today you drag me, and even me, I yab you back. Me, hey, you know,
Wow.
I have I'm a much better version. And I'm thanking myself for working on me. Okay,
Hmm.
so we must work on that. Because if you don't, when you face the world, and you're now saying to the world, here's my service to you. The world will want to dictate what your services are. The world will want to dictate how much you should price. The world will want to place a limit on you. It's their job. But it's your job to say, no, I know me, I know my worth, I know my value,
Hmm.
right? And I'm not gonna. And I tell people, digital uh, um, salespeople, please, as you make some small money, invest in exposure. Invest in it. You need to, because sometimes a prophet is not honored in his own house. And because you have not invested in exposure to even see how other people treat you outside of your Nigerian family or your Ghanaian family or your African family, you even know your true worth. I,
Very true.
I mean, you need to see how my colleagues were telling each other. Even where I live in the US, I'm the only black there. You know, it was December when they were hosting us, some of our neighbors. I realized that the gossip has gone around. Oh, he has real estate business in Dubai. He used to live in Dubai. So they say, we heard you were in Dubai. Tell us about Dubai. Ah, Bobo, you till on Google. You thought. So, same thing with my Harvard colleagues. Say, oh, we heard you have 1 million people on Instagram. Oh, we heard you started your business with $10. Tell us more. You know, everybody's super excited about your story, but it's your own people back at home that say, hey, who is he?
Hmm.
Is he as rich as Dangote? Is Dangote charging for coaching? So you need to solve that by yourself before you start selling things to the world, because people will price you low. If you tell them this digital services is $20, they will tell you, can't you take $10? If you by any method reduce it to $10, but $10 is fine. Now, how about $5? It is people's job to always tell you that you must be in a box and you shouldn't go outside that box. You break the box, shatter the box. That would be my advice to people who are going to digital products. Keep breaking the box. But
Hmm.
of course, make sure you are offering value. But do me a favor, like I did to myself. Break the limit of your country. Break the limit of Africa. Begin to craft your product every day so that anybody in the world can patronize you,
Wow.
right? Are you aware that it was when I started going to Cameroon, I will meet 5 people who have started their estates. I say how? They said they watch me on YouTube. I went to Kenya. In fact, the Kenyan guy, I thought it was a lie. I almost missed my flight. I said, you drive me to the estate he claimed he started by watching YouTube video. Until he took me to the estate. Now the guy has more than 7 estates in Kenya from watching YouTube video. So
No mentorship. Oh.
no mentorship, just
No
free
mentorship
video on YouTube. Yeah, just
for
free video on YouTube. So I'm like, wow, it's amazing. So very important. Understand what you're going to face, but make sure you don't limit yourself to a geographical location. Because sometimes people who don't know your background will appreciate you more than those who know your background. For real estate, I would say it's a function of your capital, right? If you have enough money, you can start with fix and flip. I also advise you diversify like I've done. But again, don't limit yourself to Nigeria. Imagine all our business that be in Nigeria, right?
Hmm.
Imagine the challenges one will face.
Very
So
true.
you must be intentional to diversify, but start somewhere. If it's Nigeria, you can start there, right? Don't, start small, think big, grow fast. I started, and if you don't have money, start as an agent. Look for somebody you can trust, not the one you'll be listening to gossips and rumor. Because
Sorry, sir.
thank you. In our real estate industry, there's a general attack on our industry. It's not just me. Okay. As we speak, everybody in the sector today, they call this company out, they call that company out, they call this company out. And some people are enjoying it because, you know, it's a content creation job for them. They're getting more famous. So, one person was doing YouTube and she was monetizing the YouTube and making money off it. At some point she was reported to YouTube. She moved to TikTok. I was making money off TikTok. So if people know that they can, because you are famous, they can drag you and they will make money, they will attempt it now,
Hmm.
right? They want to do whatever they can do. But I always say this, that you must understand your industry well so that in those kind of days you can defend it, right? Right now, there's a housing shortage in Nigeria. The housing
Hmm.
deficit is over 20 million. The prices of lands and houses are expensive. Guess who is causing that? Not we, the developers, it's the government. Cost of building permits is running to multi-million, right? Cost of land with C of O, cost of C of O, extremely expensive, right? So, and even with all of that, the governor can still come and say they should demolish, or the federal government can say the governor, and that's the new story we're hearing now, where President Tinubu is saying that some governors have sold some land and given permits and C of O to some land close to the ocean. But by the Nigerian law, 50 meters off the coastal road belongs to the federal government. Truly, that's the law anyway. Okay, but some governors have sold those places and given C of O, made money. Now it's between the federal government, state government, and then who is suffering when two elephants are fighting?
Hmm.
It's the grass,
The grass that will
right?
suffer.
So
Yeah.
we're seeing a situation whereby instead of content creators to face government, in fact, there was one particular content creator. I told my team when he started doing videos, I told my team, I said, tell him I would like to educate him about this art sector. I'm willing to come on this IG live. Let's talk. Right? I was told that he declined because he wants to enjoy going negative and the negative sells more. Because if you don't if you don't face the foundation of a problem, you will not solve it.
Okay, that's right.
Right? If any land that has C of O, right, is already, there's a land I wanted to buy. I will not mention the name of the state so that it doesn't become controversial. And then I was telling President Obasanjo, so he said, how much did the governor say I should pay? I mentioned one point, he wasn't directly with the governor, but the Ministry of Lands, the quotes they gave us. I mentioned 1.8 billion. Baba said, well, first of all, we bought the land from family of step one, we paid family. To now get C of O, we had to pay 1.8 billion. Baba was like, so how can you now sell it cheap?
Hmm.
How now? Right? And these are the problem. These are the problem. Some of the ones that they are selling cheap, maybe it has court cases.
Hmm.
That is just here and there. And so, but because people don't know the sector, it's easy to just come up. And I'm saying this intentionally because of those who want to get into the sector, so that you know what you are getting into. You can educate customers properly. So because sometimes that you have a good land but it's expensive and the customer is complaining. If you are coming as a broker, you can say, ma, I know this land is expensive, but I promise you, no court case, good title. And that's why the price is high. Because, and you can break it down for the customer to understand it. But if we just rush into an industry just because we want to make money without understanding the rudiments and the underlying concerns and the underlying challenges, it's difficult. Same thing with everybody is complaining that there are substandard buildings in Lagos. Why will it not be substandard? Because the day the man collected money for, most of it are off plan from customers, okay, in
Hmm.
matter of months, cement that used to be 3,000 moved to 6,000. If you go back to the customer and say pay more, customer will not agree. In fact, there's a lady that the video went viral over real estate that she paid 2021. What she didn't know is that even that same 2021, I can say of our own company, Three contractors abandoned sites on my head
Hmm.
over variation, and we're paying them ahead. Let's say, because we're paying milestone by milestone. Let's say we have agreed 25 million, you are doing 4 bedroom, you'll get to, let's say, I'm just giving an example, to cover foundation, right? Before you know it, the guy will not even finish foundation. He will tell you that the price has gone up. He's leaving site if we don't pay more. That
Hmm.
instead of that 25 million, we already agree, we signed. Oh, I must pay 35 for him to finish the foundation. So you assume it's that contractor. You change him, get a new contractor. Same thing happened. 2021. Some of these issues had started since 2019. So, and even if somebody paid you money for a house at once, you remember you can't build one house in 1 month.
Come on,
It
yeah.
will still take 6 months, right? And it's not every material you can buy down
Very
because
true.
the client had paid you the money at once. It's not every material. So you may see end up, if okay, labor on cost, right? Labor too kept increasing. So at the end of the day, there were variations. And there was no, and that's why some builders started cutting cost. Some of us were not ready to cut costs. We refunded customers their money. Only those who were willing to add some more money that we proceeded with. But and it's one of the reasons why we reduced, intentionally slowed down on selling houses. We're supposed to have done over 1,000 houses by now. Or just slow down and say, hey, we'll be building gradually. We'll focus more on selling houses in Dubai, selling houses in US and UK. Whether we're the one that build it or we're partnering with other developers. But in Nigeria will focus more on selling lands, for now, because of what is going on, just to maintain integrity and not have real crisis.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you made mention of, when you answered one of your questions, you made mention of the role of mentorship. What can you speak to us about the roles of mentorship in achieving business success? And how can someone find a godly mentor? Because I mean, there are a lot of people that are doing well in these businesses, and it's not because they are doing well in that business doesn't mean that they should be your mentor. What steps
Well,
should
I think the first is, what are your values? You have to ask yourself, what are your values? So for example, spirituality is your value. So okay, is that going to be a factor? Family is a value. I'm a family man, for example. So is that going to be a factor? Integrity is a value. That has to be a factor. However, you must also know that there are some values you may have to let go in some cases. For example, I one of the biggest mistake I made when I started looking for business mentor, I wanted all my business mentors to be Christians. That was
mm,
a mistake. And my life got better when I stopped doing that. I realized that we don't need to believe in the same thing for me to learn business from you. It's business I'm learning. I'm not learning how to go to heaven, right? I already have a pastor for how to go to heaven. I also learned that sometimes some people are successful business people, but they are poor in their family life. As long as you are not going to ask family advice from them, collect what they know when it comes to business. Just like Elon Musk now,
mm,
terrible, husband, but a genius when it
business.
comes to business. So if Elon Musk is willing to offer me mentorship, I say, oh, because he has married 4 wives, I'm not interested. Now these are the mistakes we, particularly who are Christians, these are some of the mistakes we made because we come from those conservative background. I don't think gets into us, and we're very much I don't want to. Are you sure he's a Christian? Are you sure it's this? Are you sure it's that? Some people even carry rumor. Like one of my real estate mentor is Grant Cardone, is a Scientologist. Now, the way the word Scientologist sounded, you think it's even one Babalawo, only, and for a while, I mean, I picked it as a mentor, but I was a bit conscious. What was this Scientologist? Only to realize it's just some other interpretation of Christianity, really. It wasn't anything, you know. So, but my point is, you have to also understand that you won't get all, but there are some that should be non-negotiable. Integrity should be non-negotiable. right? Should be non-negotiable. You know, so you look at your values, look at the non-negotiable, look at the negotiable ones, where because they are not going to impact, right? So I'm learning business from you. You may be poor in your marriage. I'm
Mm,
not going to ask you advice for marriage, so I shouldn't say because you have challenges in your marriage, then you can't mentor me in business. But also importantly, look for what to offer as well, because a lot of people
mm,
have tried to look for mentors, but they are parasitic. They are
mm,
not, bringing value to the table. One of the reasons why I've done well is that I've been able to use my name, if I pick you as a mentor, we're all in together. But
mm.
I don't care what happens. I'm behind you, gidigba, right? And I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of my mentors admire me a lot. Because I'm not playing the political game. A lot of people who have the level of visibility I have are always very careful, I
Yeah.
don't want my name, I don't want, you know, and I'm a mentor without, me, I did dodge my head. Me, me, as long as I believe in what you're doing, I'm gonna, if in fact, including times where I can say to people, hey, this man is not perfect too. You are also not perfect too. Why are we all just creating this, drama around who is perfect? And that's also a defense as well, right? The defense is not because our humanity will also happen to all of us
Mm,
one way or the other. Let's be honest. At some point, people will be able to capture that weakness and want to, you know, heighten it. But the people talking are not even they are not even 10% as
I don't-
virtuous as the
mm,
people they are pulling down and they are criticizing. So what's the whole game all about? But add value to your mentor. But start from the place of your values. Also do your research, follow them for a while, comment on their post, let them
mm,
also feel you. Particularly when because sometimes you see people enter your DM, mentor me. I've not even noticed you, right? I think it's good to just come under people's radar. Just comment, let them notice. There are a lot of people that have picked up to mentor that I didn't charge a dime, but they've been consistent for over a year. In fact, there's a guy I even invested in his business because he just been consistent on my page. In fact, it was me that told my people, I said, get me this guy, invite him for this dinner, and relationship was born from there. So don't just rush into mentor me. I want to meet you in person. Last but not the least, also make sure you are mature. Because if you are not mature enough, as you get closer to mentors, you will see their weaknesses
mm.
and you will pull back out of immaturity, right? The job of a mentor is not to show you their strength, it's to also show you their weakness so you can learn from it,
Oh,
right?
right.
So, any mentor that is not willing to be vulnerable around you is not a good mentor because doesn't want you to learn. But you must have been mature enough. The rule is this: if God used you to hold the hand of your mentor, don't smell the armpits. That's the
Mm,
rule, right? Don't
wow.
smell the armpits. There are things you carry your eye away. Just carry your eye and move on. Because no human being is perfect. Nobody is perfect.
Mm,
Things will happen. You must. So I look at my life today and I realize why many powerful people identify with me. It's even recently I'm realizing it. And I think it's because of my maturity, right? Many of them realize that I get close to them and I don't take it for granted. The more these people open up to me, the humbler I get around them. And I do it intentionally. Like, I thought this guy, once he sees, you know, you know, sometimes, okay, maybe you're able to see disagreements, life, in your presence between your mentor and his wife. Life, okay? And then the next time the mentor call you, say, I'm you don't dodge. I never believed my best. I thought he was so you must, and when people notice you are that mature, and you need them to be vulnerable, else you will not learn. You need them. If they are packaging for you, you can't learn anything. You learn jack. Everybody packaging for you, you will learn jack with them.
This is really an eye opener. This has an eye opener to me because ah, wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of those values. So, what are the top three things to look out for before investing in anything?
Number one, do you have the knowledge of that thing? I don't do businesses I don't have knowledge of. Number two, if you don't have the knowledge, do you have a partner that has the knowledge that you're going to partner with?
Mm,
So, for example, some of my friends will say, "Hey, Stephen, we want to, enter the African market. We realize you are very influential in Africa. Can you open the door for us?" Now, I would do that because my friend is already successful. There's a friend of mine from Harvard. Is into pharmaceutical. He has more than, believe it or not, and this is no exaggeration, he has more than 1,000 drugs, right? That they have patent for, they have everything for, and they are manufactured, right? So that kind of person, for example, I don't need to understand how pharmaceutical works. He understands it. I know the market. I'm willing to partner with him. Okay, so either you know the market, you understand the business, or you have a partner who understand what you're investing in. Okay, before you go and say, yes, I'm investing. Number three, and this is very, very, very important, understand whether it's a long-term fund that investment require or a short-term fund. So I give you an example. Anytime you're investing in real estate, is a long-term fund investment. So I've seen stories about Ponzi scheme in real estate and all of that. Yes, there are too many Ponzi schemes. For example, somebody telling you they'll give you 40% return on investment every year, you know, 60% return on investment. That's a Ponzi scheme. There's no way that is realistic in real estate. Also, you hear some of them say they will return your money to you, okay, that same year. That's not realistic because real estate is long-term fund. So you need their money for at least 3 years because most construction will take you at least 3 years, 2 to 3 years in Africa. In the US, it's a bit faster, but it's still long term. So you must understand this because if you don't understand it, they will bamboozle you, and in your mind, you say, I think the thing makes sense. I think so. Understand this industry, is this short term fund it needs or long term funds? If it's long term funds, why is the person asking me to invest a short term fund?
mm,
Right? Why is the person telling me they will give me back my capital in 1 year? This is real estate, this is Africa. This they will need this money for a longer time. And many people who have lost money, I say this when it comes to investment, it's because they themselves were greedy. I said to people, I said, unconsciously, most of us in Africa, it's like we are um sorry for apologies to everyone if this looks offensive. It's like we carry this scamming mentality. So you end up being like, is the first person to scam the next person that end
mm,
up having it. Whether you the one that want to invest or the person who is collecting their investment, everybody's because I've met situations. I still had to counsel and mentor a woman here in New Jersey. Now, Stephen, if I give you $1.5 million now, can I be getting $5,000 every day? Every day. I said, madam, that's Ponzi. And no,
mm.
say it exists. Whether if it exists, then go and do it now. What you are saying?
Ah,
We went on and on. Hey, I've seen, okay, if the money is used for event center, encore, I say, even if it's used for event center, it's not every day event center will make money.
yeah. Mm,
Happy? Okay, every month. I said, but there could be sometimes where the event center has to shut down for some maintenance and it can be up to a month. So
mm,
there's no guarantee they can pay you every month. And she argued with me for a while. In fact, at the end, he just said, okay, I will chat you up. we'll talk, but I know it's possible. Maybe you don't do that type. Okay.
Everyone set it off. Everyone set it off.
So which is why I laugh. I mean, you have no idea. Some people think I'm arrogant. There's so much money I've rejected because I just know that this thing you are saying is not realistic. Okay, it's not realistic. I'm not going to put my name into something I cannot defend. Right? We've been running our real estate fund for over 3 years, and by the grace of God, we're proud to say we've given over $1 million in return on investment. This year we started paying back the capital for many of those who invested with us, and we've been successfully paying. Some year there could be 2 month delay, 3 month delay, because also in the contract we also said there's a 3 month period, but we have not defaulted in terms of somebody saying for 1 year they've not gotten their returns. That's never happened with us. But it's because we also calculated it without even knowing that the economy will face what is facing, so that we can, even in the toughest moment, max there could be delay, but we are paying every investor their investment and their returns. Even yesterday, 2 days ago, I was with Dr. Lumde Emmanuel. I remember later I was seeing the comment where a woman was there saying, GVS pay me my money. I got my money. Oh, don't mind anybody say. I think about 3 people were saying I invested and I got my money. Anybody saying otherwise, maybe they are trying to just spoil the name of the brand. There could be delay, which is normal, but that you can't. If somebody say, "Oh, I'm supposed to pay today, kindly give us 3 months," that happens even here in the US. To say there will be a delay, that's normal anywhere in the world. But to now to claim that they don't keep to their words when year 1 you got your returns, year 2 you got your return, year 3 you got your return, and at this point, because of the economy, they say give us some extension. Come on, come on. So, but that's part of what we're saying. If we didn't use all those things, we didn't do proper analysis, by now we will have been like our colleagues who, some of them have not paid return in 1 year to their investors. I mean, I'm not mocking them, but these are just the reality. And we understand why. I mean, we understand why. It's the economy, it's the changes. Some have not been able to pay salary for 1 year. You know, we have never had such an experience. So but it's because we also were modest with what returns we're going to give people. We were conscious of all those things. And I think, don't be greedy, to say they are giving you high returns. That's number 3, so that you don't end up losing all your money. Number 4, understand that there are 3 classes to investment. There's high risk investment, there's mid risk investment, there's low risk investment. And you can invest across the 3, right? So low risk investment are like treasury bills, insurance. Mid risk investment are like real estate, mutual funds, investing in Fortune 500 companies. High risk investment is crypto, Bitcoin, altcoin, trading in Forex. Those are high risk investment. Now, I'm not going to say don't do anyone. My rule is you can spread your risk across the 3. You can divide your money to 33% into high risk, 33% to mid risk, 33% to low risk. However, with the high risk one, once you invest into an high risk and you make good money, pull back
So,
by putting to the mid and the low. Right? We've watched my training on this.
like,
So pull into mid and low. So that at the end of the day, because high risk will always collapse. And that was one of the things I was telling the woman yesterday. I said, because some of them will tell you, you'll be receiving does not guarantee that at
so,
some point it won't crash. That's what happened with CBEX. CBEX kept paying them. They were all happy, right? After the thing crashed, Stephen Akintayo, they were not shouting on top. Ikora, CBEX, the anger of CBEX, they were not putting it on me for charging 18K, right? And I'm like, it's your business. That's your headache, right? You were the one looking for what is not missing, and I think that should be the mindset. Um, and 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 I'm talking. If you notice, I didn't even mention CBX as one of the high risk investment because
Yeah.
that's Ponzi. I would never advise anybody to even do Ponzi. But I'm saying that there are some legit businesses that are high risk. Bitcoin is legit, but it's high risk, right? Trading in forex is legit, but it's high risk, right? It's, and don't let anybody fool you. Even if say it's a pastor that is in charge, it's a pope that is in charge. Once it's high risk. Go be pulling out your profits when it's a high risk investment and put into something more stable. Now, how do you know which one is high risk? They give higher returns. That's all. How do you
Mm-hmm.
know mid risk? Mid risk give more moderate returns. They are giving you between, depends on which country. If it's in Africa, once they are giving between 20 to 30% is mid risk. Now,
Mm.
but guess what? If it's here in the developed world, UK, US, once they are giving you 20%, 30% is already high risk. Because mid risk in this place is between 7 to about 14%, 15% max. That's mid risk in this developed part of the world per year.
So,
Except if they are doing 18 months. If they are doing 18 months, yes, can be over 20. Right? So it depends on the country. So developing countries gives higher returns because they have higher risk.
okay.
Right? So even their mid-risk investments still gives higher returns compared to mid-risk investment in developed world. Right? And the low risk returns like treasury bills, insurance, those ones give you single digits, 5%, 4%, but you still do them because they are guaranteed. Nothing is going to happen to you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, sir. I will let you go very soon. We just have maybe three questions, and we're done. So, how can a young person build a personal brand that stands out?
Personal brand.
That stands out, not just brand.
Well, I think it starts with your philosophy. Start with your philosophy. What's your philosophy? A lot of us don't have personal philosophy. What's your personal philosophy? So some of my personal philosophy include hard work, include integrity, include beyond conventional. I just don't like being normal, just doing things like everybody else. Those are, I believe in hard work. So write down your own personal philosophy and then build a brand around it. Okay. So and build a brand around those personal philosophies. Part of my personal philosophy is giving. People see me talk about, um, be careful about your relationship, and all of that. But what they don't know is that I'm one of those who build relationship across board. You'll be shocked you see me on site and you see me gisting with my gate man,
Mm,
right? But the gate man you see me gist with the most is the positive gate man. So these things is not because people then confuse everything. And when we say build wealthy relationship, they think everything is about money. Poverty and wealth is a state of the mind. It's
mm,
a state of the mind, right? And that's very important to emphasize. So it starts with your philosophy. One of my philosophies is positivity.
mm,
Those who work in our company that I gist with most are the positive ones. Because I have a rule. You come around me, you better smile. You
mm,
don't smile, I will ask you what's wrong with you. If you are sick, I'll make sure you go to hospital. If it's money, I'll dash you money. The next time you come around me, you are frowning your face. That'll be the last time you have access to me,
mm,
right? I believe in positive energy around me. Positive, positive. I'm big on positive energy. And there are things people don't want to even bring to my notice because they know that rule. Come and send me bad news. Imagine this person is talking about you. They must talk about me now. You know, Abi, have you ever seen a player that they don't talk about?
mm.
Abi, when you play football, Rasheedat, you are 22 players in the stadium. There could be 40,000 people talking about 22 of you.
Very true.
Rashida should have kicked it away. Okay, if he is, he can't play him now, right?
Exactly.
So it is the job of fans to talk. It is the job of players to play. We have our separate lane. Let us do our work. And so when you distract and say, see what this person is saying, everybody is entitled to their opinion. It's their job to say. Let them talk. Okay? Uh, and I do my job, they do their job. That is how you build a brand. Lastly, you must understand that every unique brand must have enough opposition for it to stand out. So don't tell me you want to build a brand that everybody likes. You cannot build a brand without opposition. What strengthens your brand is the opposition, because that's also what strengthens your fans. I watch how many of my fans were defending me. I'm so grateful to them. If some of them are watching this, thank you. Because even me, I was like, would I defend me past way I feel defend myself. People were writing articles in my defense, and I said thank you. But that's how you build a brand. Because how do people know about a brand that nobody is talking about? How did we get to all love Messi and Ronaldo? Is it not criticism? Say,
Hmm.
Ronaldo, na Messi better pass. No, na see Ronaldo. So no brand eventually stand out without criticism, without talks. Some will be true, some will be lies, some will be fake news, some will be. In fact, are you aware some people actually even sponsor criticism against themselves so that they can literally grow?
Right.
I got to know from one of Trump's associates that during the election, Trump rule was that he doesn't care whether it was positive or negative, right? He wanted the level of talk about him to increase. That was the only thing that mattered to Trump.
Hmm.
Whether it was positive talk about him or it was negative, he told his team, as long as they keep talking about me, I'm going to win the election.
Strategy. Hmm.
So you want a brand that stand out, you must know that people are going to talk. People are going to criticize. There will be gossip here. In fact, you see it as because see, the highest form of flattery and compliment, right? It's gossip. It's criticism. It's you know what it means for somebody to live their life. They live that with all that they are going through. And I say, did you notice that Shida has changed her hair from red? It's now blue. Say, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her. It's a big privilege that you really matter. Okay, you really matter for people to take that. And so in building brand, you must understand that a good dose, a good cocktail of hatred is part of what strengthens your brand. Because whether you like it or not, people who hate you stand a higher chance of becoming your friends than those who like you. Many of those who like you have already taken you for granted in most
Hmm.
cases. You check it out now. When you even do things, how many of those who like you notice? Huh? Is it not Rashida? She always scores, she always wins.
Very
She's
true.
a good player, right? It is your enemies that are, she didn't shoot that ball well. She didn't, you know, and then later on, at some point, they become fans. And, same thing in business. Many of those who eventually buy products from you are first critics that his product is expensive. It's like that. Everything they sell, too pricey. But the day he goes and then buy from the cheap ones, and then he lose his money, they say, no, I see why Steve Akintayo is there. So let me go and buy from him. And at that point, he will value you more. He will respect you more. He will say better things about you. And it's just the way it is.
Wow, 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 wow. Just wow, wow, yeah, because my notes is filled up. The reason why I'm writing on what's it called on the play sheet is because I have to transfer the notes into my main notes. So that discipline of rewriting, then editing, and just help me stocks better. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of those valuable advices and valuable information, a lot of positive comments here, and I'm just very
By the
proud.
way, where are you streaming this?
I'm streaming at home.
No, no, to what platform? IG or what
Okay,
platform?
I'm streaming on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and
Huh?
TikTok is having a problem lately, so it's telling me I can't stream on TikTok. So, but this is
Nice,
the platform that we're streaming right now.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that second to the last question, sir. In your opinion, what skills or qualities are essential for success in the business world?
What, what?
What skills or qualities are essential for success in the business world?
Hmm. Business world. I think resilience will be number one.
Hmm.
You must, I call it the staying power.
Hmm.
You must have a staying power. I mean, you footballers are better than everybody in this. I mean, the level of discipline um, that you guys have, trainings all the time. Honestly, you guys are. I respect footballers a lot. You know, but guys, female footballers, because they allow do what men do. I give it to you. But those are the tools. You have to be resilient. You must understand that when it comes to the subject of success, it's a long term thing. This is a long term thing. Success is not overnight and it's a journey, it's not a destination. So it's a marathon. So you must have what we call staying power, ability to endure pressure, ability to stand in the midst of pressure and smile. Because you must also understand that, like in my village, they have this adage that tọmọdé bá láṣọ tó àgbà kò lákìísà tó àgbà. You must understand that the older you get, the more debt you have on your body as an entrepreneur, right? I was sharing with somebody, I said, this year makes it our 10th year in real estate. I said, so I'm not surprised what we are facing. There is no brand that did not face some tough opposition by the time they are clocking 10 in real estate in Nigeria. I don't have one. There's no one brand. So it's a function of aging. As the older you get, you feel a few debts here and there. It's the same way with your skin. Your skin can be like a young baby when you are. There'll be a few dragging here and there. It's okay, but you must have the capacity to absorb it, to manage it, to stand it. Resilience, determination, um, grit, right? Staying power. These are qualities of great entrepreneurs. Staying power. Well, I remember when we started real estate, by the third year, we were not making money at all. We were really struggling. And I will never forget how one of our leaders was saying, sir, we are not doing well in this business. Maybe we will not maybe stop it or change something. And I remember telling the person, no, I think it was our second year. And then told the person, I said, I'm willing to wait for the next 5 years of we not even making any money in this business. I'm playing for the long term. So I said, Oga? I said, yeah. I said, it's long term for me. Like, it's not a short term game. And that's the mindset. I pray young people build that capacity to see long term, right? I'm one of those that today we're talking of registering company. I'll be telling you what I see 30 years from now. Sometimes people think I'm crazy when I talk like that. Like, you know, I started a new business. I invested with one of my sister, adopted sister here in the US. It's a car business, and we were at the garage to buy the first set of cars, and I was breaking down how I see us have auto parts, I see us have mechanics, I see us buy cars from auction, I see us have portal where the cars are going to be sold, I see us having car lots. I was breaking. I mean, all in my head. She was looking at me and said, from this one, from this first few car we are buying, See what your mind, because what God, when the Bible says God made us in his image, it's not like God is fair or dark or chubby or slim. No, it's that God made us in his image by giving us the creative
Yes.
ability to create something before it physically manifests, ability to use our imagination to
Hmm.
create, our ability to call those things that be not as though they were. And when you want to be a great entrepreneur, that's where you start from. You create in your mind, you call it forth, you see the big picture, you see 30 years ahead, you see 50 years ahead. You know, I was told of a story of a meeting a either a British guy or an American had with a Chinese guy, and the maybe the Chinese guy was late, and the American said, "Oh, why are you late? You see, when I want to do business with people, I'm looking at long time, 10 years from now. When you're coming late, it's not right." And the Chinese man smile, apologize, and say, "But you see, we Chinese want to do business with people. We see the next 100 years." Yes, the man, the man was shocked. We don't see the next 10 years. We see the next 100 years. But we even start from the 100 years to come,
Ah,
right? So you must be that kind of person. In fact, one of my doctor sister had asked me that question. Say, why do you think this big? Why do you think this far? He said, me, I can't even think 5 years from now. My mind is like, why today? Let's see what will happen today. What day
to
for
be
you?
honest, the first time I upped on your live session, some of your classes, you're like, you have to be able to write down that vision. Think about 10 years time, and I'm like, after that class that day, sir, I took my book. I can't even write. I was struggling with writing like, what do I want to become in 5 years? Like, Dr. Sibi is talking about 10 years, and you're talking about 50 years time. I'm like, how? Like, Rash, I have a long way to go. Honestly, I don't even know how to put that together. That was the first class that I hopped on. But then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try my best because I've been hearing a lot about goal settings, right vision, do all of this. I'm like, and you're talking about the visual like creating an image of how you want things to be, have a vision board, and all of this. I'm like, um, I wish I. I mean, it's not too late to start doing all of those things. But that was where I started learning and I started writing things down every year before I start each of a season. I'm writing how do you want the season to look like, and eventually a lot of things played out. But I mean, sometimes, and you mentioned sometimes it doesn't happen, but just key into it, hold it, make it. It's gonna happen. It's just gonna take time. As you mentioned, it's long time. Not it's long term, not just short term. I mean, I've learned a lot, and I'll keep learning. Okay. And thank you so much for being that biggest role model for us. And as I mentioned to you, I'm saving my money. That's mentorship. I'm gonna get it.
I mean, I will gladly,
Thank you so much for being
I
that
will
everything to us. It's
I will gladly start
been
the mentorship session with you without money. You know, you let's do it. You will pay me back in services, and I will tell you what services. And
well,
if you're ready, you can
that
start this week.
that
Yes.
that's great, sir. That's great, sir. Let's do it. I have to testify you.
Absolutely. I'm willing to start this week. We can have
Thank
our
you.
first session this week, so we start working.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm very grateful, sir. Guys, don't jealous me. It's grace. Thank you so much, sir. So finally, before I
Yeah.
let you go, sir, there's some people connecting to with us right now. Three category of people that are connected with us right now. Some of them they already know Christ, and some they are in and out, or they already have the knowledge of Christ and they fell out, and some don't even have they've not come to the knowledge of Christ. To that person who is yet to come to the knowledge of Christ, sir, what is your message to them, sir?
Well, I would say first of all, no pressure. The whole conversation about Christ, it's about you know your Creator. So this is not religion. Not about going to church. This is about connecting with your source. This is about connecting with your Lord and Savior. And this is not about, I always tell people that relationship with Jesus is not about morality. So sometimes people miss that, right? It's about, connecting. There's this peace you have when you know God. The whole world can be shaking. You know, the owner, the maker, na my guy. We talk, and it's all will be all right. And I would just encourage you to talk to him tonight. You know, just say whatever word. Just say, you know, Father, if you are my creator, I need you in my life. It's just a request. It's a the devil came and broke that. Like there's a pipe that connected us with our maker, and the devil broke it on in the Garden of Eden. And the whole conversation about giving your life to Christ is connecting that pipe and building that relationship back and being able to have that conversation with your father. And guess what? You don't even need to be a born again Christian before you have that conversation with him to say, Lord, I want you in my life. That's how it works. Just talk to him. Maybe Raj will lead us today, but even if you are not convinced after she leads us, you just talk to God tonight. Just say, Lord, I need you. I want that kind of peace Dr. Stephen talked about, where the whole world is talking to about you, and you just calm. And then you dance 18K dance in the yacht. This guy must know something, right? He must know something deeper. And that's the truth. Because you know somebody bigger than those talking. You have relationship with him. You've spoken to him. You know you are good with him. Nothing beats that. Nothing. And we want you to have that feeling. We want you to have that feeling. That feeling that me and God were good. Because these human beings, you can't rely on us. Including myself, we are not reliable.
Very true,
Only
sir.
God is reliable. Only God.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing that. My friends and families, you've heard that. The Bible says that whosoever believe in him will not be ashamed. And I encourage you today to turn from your sin, trust in God today. Open your hearts to receive him. Open your heart to receive his love. His arms are ever open to receive you. And God bless you as to take that bold step in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen, for your time. It's 3 hours holding you up here, and it's just you always willing to give your heart to give. It's just, I'm just even, oh my goodness. But still, let me say thank you to him. Guys, I'm very, very grateful. I am so, so grateful to have you on this show tonight, sir. I mean, I would love to have you some other time in the future. Let's call this one part one with Dr. Stephen Akintayo, and hopefully we can get again on part two, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and God
Amen.
bless you, sir. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, and I do not take it for granted, sir. And God bless you for everything that you do, sir. No, no. Before you go, do you mind telling us some investment opportunities that are available right now in GTEx? The one in Dubai, the one in the US, something like investment opportunities that people can key into that you do. Because I think
If I mention the price now, they will drag me again.
it is a opportunity we're bringing to people, and there's
they
nothing
will
like
drag, they
no,
will
no,
say, his property is too expensive. It's this, it's charging in dollars.
putting a knife. Somebody's putting knife on their neck. We just there are people that have this money that wants to really buy properties, that want to
Yeah,
invest, and it's just all about looking for the people that has integrity.
yeah.
Yeah, so these people are there. The people that are talking, those ones they are not, they don't, you understand? These people, they just want to talk. They find joy in talking, and they don't just have something to. But there are
Yeah.
people, business people that people want to invest, people that they just all about finding the right people to invest in. I
So
know this.
what I would do is,
Okay.
um if you know you have some disposable income you want to invest in real estate, either in US, in UK, in Dubai, or in Nigeria, what you can do is send me a mail, info at Stephen Akinta. I don't know that it's possible for you to type it for them to see.
I can actually, but I don't know if my producer is is still awake. So if you can just call the
Yeah.
okay.
Info at Stephen Akintayo. Info at stephenakitayo.com. Info, that is info at stephenakitayo, info at stephenakitayo.com. They could send a mail. They should state their budgets, how much they have, and then I will link them with our team who will be able to help them. Some who, again, it's not to chat me for one thing or the other, it's strictly business. I can, my number as well, I have a US number you can chat, +1 443 790 3925. Again, +1 443 790 3925. Again, +1 443 790 3925. Chat me up. I'm not involved in direct sales, but I can link you up with our team, and they're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the information that you need. And for me, I'm willing to counsel. I'm willing to mentor, but it's my team that is into, okay, this how to buy, this what to buy, and all that. But I can guide you and say, okay, maybe if you have this is maybe what you should try. Maybe that's what you should try. That's more of my forte, because I no longer run the day to day of our company anymore. What I do now is I just invest in businesses. I start new ones. I mentor people who are businesses, and I just want to get my returns on investment. That's my own. Like, I'm very eager to start a new business with Rasheedat, and let's start a
Now
fashion
let's
business
do
together.
it. Let's do it. Let's do it, sir. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. And you're just very generous with everything, with informations, with values, with impact. It's just free. All of this you've done today. If it's a masterclass, it's a lot of money, sir. But it's just your heart to give back, and this is just who you are. And I'm not surprised about how God helps and how God blesses you in everything that you do. And we know that by God's grace, this is just the beginning of the journey for you. It's
Amen.
going to keep going higher, higher, and higher.
Amen.
And you are
Amen.
investing in this generation. We, these young ones, they will stand behind you. Anything, any day, anytime. Like we are behind you, and God will continually strengthen you.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, Dr. Steven. I'm so grateful and super excited that you're here today. I'm highly honored. Thank you, sir. And as I mentioned earlier, I would never take this opportunity for granted. God bless you, sir.
Amen. 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 I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I'm really glad we did this. I hope this really added value to your audience. I hope many of them will be able to, you know, take advantage of what they are learning. And let's stay positive. Let's go for more positive information, more positive content. We're in a world that is too toxic. There's too much negativity, and we need to bring things back to positive conversations. There's nothing to benefit from negativity. It doesn't help anybody. Like, it doesn't pay the bills. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And God bless you. Thank you, sir.